Yo, yo, yo. Squad Sundays 2020 International guys, welcome. What's up, what's up, what's up?
Hey, I'm so wrapped about this.
I'm wrapped too. So my dear friends, I ask you before we get started, keep all your mics on mute while we do this. And I'd love you guys to turn your videos on. You know, we want to feel your presence. We want to feel that you're in the room. So, you know, if you're not comfortable, that's fine. But I'd love you to turn on your cameras so the guests are able to see you. And then we can all have ourselves a good time. All right, so let me just set all this up and we're going to get cracking. Here we go. Yes, yes, yes. All right. So I'm super excited to have you guys on board. Get your videos on, guys, so the guests can feel a part of it, so they can see who they're talking to. I think it's dope to be able to have you guys online. This is our first 2020 international event. I want to shout out to the host, who I'm going to introduce in a second. Basically, these guys are people I admire and look up to. They've done heaps for community. They're doing heaps for the community as we speak. And, you know, we're in a time right now where 2020 has been really messed up and challenging and difficult for all of us. My thoughts at the moment, like 6-7 months in Melbourne, we've been locked down and unable to work. And I know that the situations overseas are a little bit different. Some people are just going into lockdowns, but I can say something positive from everything that's been going on is I really feel like community is stronger than ever. People are really wanting to get on board, communicate. Even, you know, people on the streets in Melbourne, I feel, are smiling, are happier to engage with strangers. There's a different appreciation, and I'm hoping that appreciation spreads throughout the world, and people, instead of looking at each other as strangers, are working more together and achieving more together. So this is an event that I was really excited to put on, and I just want to shout out to the 3 guests. A big thank you already. We haven't started, but thank you for lending us your time. And yeah, that's it. We're going to be shooting a few questions. The last 15 minutes, you guys can shoot questions through. You can type it in. If you have any problems with audio or anything like that, the man to hit up is Ramon Broza. So you can check him out, message him privately if there's any issues. So first up, I want to introduce our hosts. We got M-Phazes. M-Phazes, if you want to jump in, my man. Atlas the Plug.
Hey, what's up, everyone?
Yo, yo. And we got Decap. There we go. Let me see Decap.
What's up, everybody?
Yo, yo. And Atlas. So, guys, thanks for being on board again. I want to start with asking you guys, whoever wants to go first, how have you been coping with 2020? And, you know, before you start with that, just tell us who you are, what you do, and then you can tell us a bit with like how your 2020's been. Who wants to start up? Let's go Phases.
With the A. Okay.
Phases, let's go.
So my name is Mark. I go by the name M-Phazes. I'm a music producer originally from Australia. I grew up on the Gold Coast and moved to Melbourne when I was in my early 20s. And now I live in Los Angeles, and I've been here for just over 4 years. So Trump was literally being inaugurated as I stepped off the plane. So that's been interesting, but I've been here for 4 years. I'm in my home studio, which is like in a back house at my, my apartment's on the other side of this. And that's me.
Nice.
So,
hit us up.
Thanks.
Thank you, Fed.
Hey.
Hey. Yeah.
Oh, thanks, guys. Wow, sound effects.
Yeah, man. I came ready.
That's awesome.
You're on mute, by the way.
Yeah, no, all good. Yeah, I was letting M-Phazes do his thing.
Cool, man.
Yeah, man. A little about me. I'm from Brooklyn, Puerto Rican from Brooklyn. Live in the city now in Manhattan, not too far from Times Square. But um, just I started out as a singer, moved into A&Ring and managing and other things and websites and plugins. And I'm excited. First off, thank everyone for coming in here tonight. How about a big shout out for you guys coming in tonight? Come on, make some noise. Let's go. Yeah. There we go. Yes, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. Shout out to M-Phazes. Shout out to Decap, man. I've been big fans of you guys for a while. Shout out to Spike and Ramon. I've known you guys for a minute though. I love what you guys are doing, and I'm honored to be here today.
Thank you, man. Decap, what's up?
Yo, what's good, everybody? Yo, thank you guys for being here. My name is Decap. That's my producer name. My real name is Nick. I've been producing for more than half my life, and I just love music. I love sound. I love doing everything I can to be creative. I love producing, but I also do sound design. I came up with the drum samples, Drums That Knock, which are samples for producers. Some of you guys might know about it. I'm just, really happy to be here, happy to be connecting with you guys. And yeah, thank you for having me.
You're welcome. It's great to have you all on board, and thanks for introducing yourself. So I guess I want to kick it off. A lot of people here, including myself, we're all budding music producers, trying to make it. A lot more is going online now. I was speaking briefly how like relationships are different. I think people are more acceptable of online and building those relationships. What do you guys, I'll ask two questions here. What was the turning point in your career where you feel like after the years and years of hustle, doing what you do, where was the point where you're like, okay, things are starting to gain momentum, and you're getting closer to where you want to be? What's the best way as an artist or a producer or an A&R in the creative industry in 2020, 2021 to get ahead? Does anyone want to start with that one? Turning point in your career and the best way to kind of get yourself ahead as a budding artist, music producer, creative.
I could start that one. So I would say like in my career, I've had a bunch of turning points. So like the very first turning point that I could remember was being in 9th grade, just starting out making beats. And I sold my first 4 beats ever, and I made $12.50 per beat. So for me, that was a major turning point because I didn't think that something that I enjoy so much could actually produce any kind of money or any kind of, someone paying me to do something I love. That's crazy. So that was probably the first turning point for me. And then obviously, staying with it, you grow. And then from there it was, getting my first placement. I don't remember my very first, but like I did a record with Royce the 5'9" when I was in college or something like that. And that was another turning point. And then like fast forward to, to now, putting out Drums That Knock, just some sounds that I really liked and sounds that I made for myself, just for producing. I think that was a turning point because then it just got my stuff out there on the charts and just, everywhere. So I say like I continuously have turning points as I keep going and keep striving for more, better things and just, making my goals get bigger as I go. So as my goals get bigger, I think that the turning point, the pivot gets bigger too.
Thanks, Decap. Phases or do you guys want to go?
After you, Atlas. Go ahead. He's on mute.
Yeah, you're on mute, bro.
I got you guys. Yeah.
Yeah.
There we
I
go.
think for me, because the difference with me is I'm not a music producer, but I've always had a passion for music. So I started out singing in the R&B group and writing songs, and then transitioning to managing studios and managing artists, and then doing events and doing podcasts and websites, and and I think the turning point for me, I would say, I think when the R&B group broke up and I had to really figure it out, I think that was a turning point for me, because when you don't have any other option, you just have to figure it out, And at that time, I was singing the R&B group. That was my ticket, to kind of go. But I would also say, on top of that, is when I met Illmind. When I met Illmind, that was definitely a turning point. Not when I met him; it was probably like a year later, after I developed a relationship with him. That was when things really started changing in my career. So I would say around that point.
Thanks, Phases.
Yeah, similar to Decap, I've had a lot of turning points. I do notice this recurring theme where it's always quite scary when there's about to be a big turning point. And I'll work backwards, but the move to LA I was petrified, and I'd never lived outside of Australia, so it was really scary. I felt like I was starting from ground zero again. I'd worked my way up in Australia to a certain point in the music industry, and none of that felt like it mattered over here. So that was a huge turning point for me. And then before that, the move to Melbourne was another scary, I guess, risk, you'd call it. But those things always tend to have the greatest rewards. And when I moved to Melbourne, I was still working a day job. I was doing music, and I was working like 3 or 4 days a week at a clothing store. And when I got my first publishing deal is when I was able to live off music. So, that was a big turning point. But there's this weird misconception or this myth that you have to go all in on music, and you quit your day job and you just give it everything, and that's how you make it. And I think that's can be a little misguided. I think I needed a little more security. So, I worked a day job, and gradually, as my income as a music producer increased, I was able to cut down on the hours I was working a day job until I was able to live off music, so I needed that security. But yeah, the publishing deal was a big turning point. It was a garbage publishing deal, but it did allow me to live off music, which was nice. But yeah, the move to Melbourne, just taking these big leaps, and then just having faith in it that it'll work out. And no matter how tough it gets, I know this sounds corny, but no matter how tough it gets, you just have to persist, because there'll be tough times. Like when I first moved to LA, I was sleeping in a friend's, it was a guest house, but it was tiny. And all of my friends living here were getting cuts and in the studio, and I'm busy trying to find somewhere to live and just trying to get my shit together. And that was quite disheartening, but here I am loving it over here, and I got a career and I'm making music, and so those big scary jumps can kind of lead to great things.
Thanks, bro. Decap, what was, when you were coming up, what's some advice you would give with the best way to push yourself forward as an artist and producer? Obviously, we all know the dreaded, hey bro, check out my beats. Hey bro, I'm an artist, check out my music. And obviously that's a method a lot of people are still using that's ineffective. Atlas was talking about a relationship that took him a year to build up. And I imagine as well with Phases and yourself, Decap, you've built up relationships in the industry, and over that time they've been stepping stones to turning points in your career. So how important is it building relationships, not pissing people off, adding value to other people? And what is your advice to moving yourself forward effectively and efficiently?
That's a lot of questions. I'll do the best I can.
Answer any of them.
Okay, cool. So one thing I heard you say it was about value. I think that one thing I would say about that is if you can get your, because everything is mindset, right? Everything is about what's in your mind. That's going to determine how far you go with it, whether you make one beat and quit, or if you I like to know how many people in here are producers. I'm looking at all of you. Can you guys raise your hand if you produce? Okay. So I just wanted to know, like, who's in here. But, if you focus on giving value, say if you want to produce a record for an artist, if you're focused on giving value to that artist, you're going to have a better result than if you're trying to get something from them. Like, hey, check out my beats. That doesn't work. For me personally, I get a lot of DMs on Instagram like, hey, check out my beats, check out my beats. I mean, the thing is, even if I wanted to check out the beats, I couldn't, because number one, I'm a producer, so I don't need beats. Number two, I'm busy, so I don't have time to check out tons of beats. So artists you're sending beats to, imagine how busy they are. I think it's better to go interpersonal, like find a way to connect with that person and have a genuine connection with them, rather than just trying to get feedback or just trying to get them to hear your track. So in that sense, like, understanding, it's about relationship building. It's about, let's have a communication. Let's talk. I love when people hit me up about, like, if I post, I'm cooking some pizza, because I'm Italian. I love pizza. So I love when people hit me up about, what kind of cheese do you use? Oh, you use San Marzano tomatoes? I do too. Like, I like that. Like, I don't want it to always be about, hey, check me out, like my post, do all that. No, let's just have a communication. And I think that most people are just, everyone is just people. We're people. Let's have a communication. Let's talk. So, and that brings me to the idea, like, and this kind of goes in alignment with that, like, focus on giving value in every situation you can. When you're focused on getting, like, how can I get money from this person? How can I get feedback? That blocks the energy. Instead, focus on, how can I help this person out? And if you're focused on helping, you're going to receive back more of what you want, and not try to get all the time. So I would say focus on giving rather than getting. And the irony of that is, when you focus on giving, you'll then find out how you can get. So it's like a martial arts in a way.
Thanks, Decap. That was well said. Do you want to add anything to that? Phases, do you want to add anything to that? Atlas, let's start with you, man. I know you're Atlas the plug. So part of your job and your charisma is connecting people. What are your thoughts, man?
Can you repeat the question one more time? Only because I was so into deep, like, to what Decap was saying. Yeah. I just forgot what the question was.
Yeah, I guess the initial question was the best way forward, and not just hitting up people you admire with, hey, check my beats, check my track. And Decap covered, like, offering people value is extremely important. So for you, what is your advice to artists, producers, and creatives alike, people wanting to get forward, and what's important to you? How are people building relationships with you? And how have you done that coming up? What is your methods to building those relationships?
And that, and you knocked it on the head, Decap, with the relationships. Because, I was literally, before you said, I'm thinking the same thing. It's, the music, everyone has a lot of good music, a lot of amazing music. There's singers out there I know that are amazing, but they never get heard. Never get heard. They're so amazing. And I think it really comes down, why? Because they didn't build the right relationships or have the right team around them to get to the right people. At the same time, I also believe, as an artist, if your music is dope, if your beats are really dope, and you put them out there on a consistent basis, those people that you're looking for are going to come find you. They're going to come find you. Don't worry about all that other shit. Fuck how many plays you got on your fucking Instagram or your Spotify or your SoundCloud or this. Just be consistent and put out quality content on a weekly, bi-weekly basis. Put stuff that's dope. And if it's really that dope, they're gonna come and they're gonna find you. Don't stress yourself out. But also, while you're doing that, align yourself with upcoming dope artists or producers that you fuck with. Like link up with them, invite them to the studio. If you have a studio session locked out for 4 to 8 hours, don't be there by yourself making beats. Invite every upcoming producer, manager, A&R, fucking the dude who owns the bar down the block. Invite them all to your session. Play some beats for them. You know what I'm saying? Invite their artists in. Invite your producers in while they're there, and then you just keep building that side of things. And I think that's what's going to take you to the next level. But you got to be consistent. That's the thing. If you fall off, you know, for a month or two, you have to always be consistent and always have quality product. Almost like a drug dealer. And I don't want to bring drugs into this. But if it's quality product, people are going to buy it.
Thanks, Hat. Phases, do you want to add anything to that, bro?
I'll just briefly kind of touch on what Atlas said. 100%. There's this. I get hit up a lot on Instagram from young artists, mainly Rule fans, who, you know, see his success and think they can mirror it, but they want this secret bullet that, like, how can I get famous? How do I get my foot in the how do I get my foot in the door? How do I get into the industry? And it's the same answer every time. It's just practice. All you should care about is getting good at your craft and being ultra critical of yourself. And don't listen to your family, your friends, because they're going to tell you you're dope because they have invested interest, not to upset you. You know, I think you know, the reason, well, one of the reasons I think how do I say this without sounding too cocky? I guess got really good at production compared to some of my peers around me in Australia was because instead of asking old mate down the road for, do you like my tracks? Do you like my beats? And he doesn't know any other producers. So just the fact that I do it is fucking cool. And this is back when no one was making beats. Instead, I posted them online and I got feedback from these people who didn't know me, who were in America listening to American hip hop. And so it was this brutally honest feedback. And it just forced me to just go, okay, fuck, I need to get better. I need to get better. I need to impress these people. I wasn't worried about what my friends who just thought the fact that I was producing was cool. You know what I mean? So it didn't matter what I did. And that's the thing. And like Atlas said, the more work you put in, the more you practice, the better you get. The managers, the A&Rs, the fans, they'll find you. It'll trickle in front. It'll basically land in front of you. All these opportunities and all these people you should know. But it does take consistency, and it takes lots of practice and lots of time. And, you know, there's no quick fix. There's no silver bullet.
Thanks, man. You guys are across your socials as a creative building yourself up. Is social media a beneficial tool or is it a distraction? Decap, you're all over social media at the moment. Decap and Phases, you're both going on Twitch. Atlas, I know you'd be doing a lot of your work across social media as an A&R and different other positions and hats that you're wearing. Decap, how has it been for you, especially for someone building themselves up? Should they be focusing more on brand or more on building their skill set?
I think I wouldn't say you should focus more on brand or more on skill set, because I think both of them are equally important. Focusing on the way I look at it is my brand is my pillar. That's everything stems from my brand. Like when I was first out, my goal was to get placements. I wanted to just get placements. I want to get a Jay-Z record. I want to get a Beyonce record. I was looking out there for some external success. And what I realized is the success starts with your brand. And from the success of your brand, that's where you can go out and you can get placements. You can release products. You can build up your artists, like M-Phazes did with Rule. You know, it starts with it starts with, you know, starting with what you do, like making it clear who you are. And from that point, everything comes from there. Because when you look outside of yourself for some kind of metric, some kind of amount of likes or some kind of platinum plaque or anything like that to tell you who you are and how successful you are, you've already lost. Like and that's just in my opinion. It starts with you, because you are the one that controls the ship, you know, and from that point you can do a whole bunch of things. You don't have to just focus on one thing. You can do lots of things. And your other question, is social media a distraction or is it beneficial? I'd say it's whatever you make it. It's if you're always just looking and not using it productively and just, you know, scrolling the timeline and not doing anything with that, then it is a distraction. But if you take it to build your brand, to build connections, to you know, the network, let people know what you're doing, promotion, building, then it becomes a positive thing. So I think that it can be either a distraction or benefit. Make it a benefit.
Thanks, Phase. Thanks, Decap. Phases, do you want to talk about social media for you? Beneficial tool or distraction?
I mean, Decap nailed it. It's what you make it. I think it's an incredible communication tool. The amount of artists and songwriters and producers I've linked up with via like Instagram DMs, it's half the reason I haven't deleted my Instagram, is because it's, you know, it's too useful as a communication tool. I'm still very new to the Twitch world. I haven't really done tons of engagement on social media. I'm trying to get into that now. And a bit of that has been inspired by Decap and people like Ian Kirkpatrick, these people doing these online streams, and this is just inspiring, and it's motivated me to go, maybe I can do a bit of that. And I do get asked a lot on social media, kids asking me to show them how I did this or how I made this track or how I recorded this vocal. So, you know, I'm at a point in my career where I do want to give back, and you know, we have the tools to do it. And with the whole, you know, the COVID stuff going on, we have a lot more time to do that sort of stuff. So I think, yeah, as Decap said, it can be a distraction 100%, but it doesn't have to be. You can kind of utilize it in really cool ways, which I'm trying to do more of. But yeah, Decap kind of nailed that one.
Thanks, man. Do you have something to say with social media, beneficial tool or distraction?
I think as on the sales tactic side of things, whether you're branding yourself, and everyone in this room, we're all branding ourselves, right? Right? Put your hands up if you're branding yourself. Put your hands up. Everybody should be putting their hands up right now. In this place. If you ain't putting your hands up, you're in the wrong place. We're all a brand. Whether you make beats, you're an engineer, you sell clothing, I don't care what you do, we're all a brand. You got to treat yourself that way. You got to treat yourself like a brand. So if you have social media where, like, back in the day, you didn't have social media. You had to go to the radio station. You understand me? You had to go to the label. You had to go carry crates to get into the club because your homie's a DJ. You understand what I'm saying? Now it's different. Everything is digital. So you have to use the DMs, but use them wisely. When you DM someone, use it wisely. Don't waste a DM on a fucking spam DM you send to 100 people. Mm-hmm. Don't do that. When you send a DM to someone, make sure you know what the fuck you're sending them and who you are. You know what I'm saying? Respect who they are in their time. You understand what I'm saying? And if you do that, you're gonna win. And when you send them something, make sure it's quality. And don't ask for anything, but rather tell them what you can give them. I do video, I do graphic. I'll hold your fucking suitcases. I don't give a fuck what it is. You understand me? That's how the energy you got to get on. You got to be hungry. You got to want this, because there's a million people within the same building, within the same block, within the same mountain, the same city that might be more hungrier than you. So what's going to make you different than them is you got to be smarter and you got to be hungrier. And then that's what's going to take it. And that's what's going to take it to the next level. But you got to understand, don't ask for anything right away. Don't ask. Please don't ask. And don't complain about, oh, I'm homeless. I got nowhere to go. I have no job. My family hates me. I have a kid. I have this. My kid's autistic. My mom's sick. You know why? Because we all got issues. All of us in this motherfucking room. Even me, Atlas the Plug. Even Decap. Even fucking M-Phazes. And Spike Leo. And Ramon. Right? But the key is, how do you advance to the next level? How do you take that and get stronger? Because we all got stories, so you got to bring the value. And always remember, we all got value in this room. If you look in your phone right now, there is so much value in your cell phone right now. If you looked on your phone from A to Z on your contacts, you could get a videographer. You could get a stylist. You can get a publicist. You can get fucking anything on your phone. And if not, then use the social media to do it.
I don't know about you guys, but I'm feeling fucking amped.
Hey, man.
Oh!
Fucking motivational
Yo,
speaker.
I worked out today. My trainer, shout out to Tron Training, man.
Oh man, check out Atlas's fitness regime. I feel guilty when I'm sitting on the couch and looking at his IG.
Thank you, bro.
At why we got you why we got you talking. Were there moments that you wanted to, through your career thus far, you wanted to give up? And what is it within you? Is it just your genetic makeup that keeps you striving for greatness? What is that thing that keeps you motivated? And were there moments that you were going along where you thought this is too difficult? Same question for Decap and Phases.
Look, listen, I'll just say this and I'll keep it short because I'm Puerto Rican and I could talk a lot. So shout out to all my Latinos out there. All right. So I'm going to say this. I never wanted to quit. I never wanted to quit, ever. But there were times where I knew I had to dig in really fucking deep in my heart, in my soul. And like, I always have this saying, and this saying, people might think I'm crazy, but my saying is this. Am I going to die today? Am I going to starve today? Or do I have no place to stay today? Okay? And I guarantee everyone in here can look on the cell phone that we talked about earlier with all your relationships that you're going to be okay. You understand me? Because tomorrow is not promised. Tomorrow is not promised. Sad to say. You feel me? So use it and strive forward. And it's going to be all right. Trust me. And you're going to look back and say, damn, Matt was right. Damn, Matt was right. He was right. I didn't starve. I didn't die. And I had a place to stay today. And if you know, and you're in New York City, DM me, man. I got you. If you're in New York, I got you. For real. Real talk.
Thanks, Ad. Yeah. You know, perspective is a beautiful thing.
Thank you.
Phases. Same question. What were the moments you're building yourself up? Were you like, this shit's too hard. I can't do it today, or I'm gonna quit. What keeps you striving for greatness?
I think anyone in a creative field can relate to there's some days where you feel like you're the worst producer in the world. Like, what the fuck am I doing? You know, I suck. And then there's days where I'm like, I am fucking Dr. Dre and I'm the best ever, and and I'm the shit. But yeah, you never actually think to quit. I think that's the mindset, is like, you just have to be aware that you'll have bad days. You'll have days where you're just not on, and you'll have fucking great days. And there's so many factors that play into that. But that is what separates, the people who are in this shit for the long run and the people who are just looking to, I don't know, whether that's the fame or just being the trendy producer on Instagram. The ones who will make it are the ones who do go through those tough patches and come out the other side of it. And I think that's a real test. So yeah, I've had plenty of those times where I just thought, oh my God, everything I'm doing today just sounds like fucking garbage. And and you start thinking, and there's the other factor of like Decap could drop a song that same day that is just like, this is the craziest shit ever. So you're dealing with that comparison thing as well, which can be tough. And that's another demon you really have to battle and you do have to overcome. And that's more of an ego thing. And we all have an ego, but the sooner you kind of accept that you have an ego and accept that you might get a little jealous of your friend who has a cut on this big record and you don't have anything coming out, anytime that happens, you congratulate them straight away. The second I show some appreciation and congratulate them and keep it positive, it tends to kind of melt away that negative emotion that comes with it, which is, I think, is natural. But yeah, that's kind of a pretty long-winded answer to your question.
It was a great answer, man. Decap.
Yeah, 100% what Phases and Nat said. You're gonna have great days where you feel incredible, and you're gonna have days when you feel like you're just a fraud and you just suck. And that's a real thing. Most producers I talk to, most people I talk to in general, have good days and bad days, and that is how it goes. And like At said, you just have to keep going. You just have to keep. It's gonna get better. It's gonna get better. Like, you might not be creatively inspired at all for a month, 2 months, but then the wave is gonna come back. If you stay with it, just keep making beats, it's gonna come back. So I agree with what both of them said. I will say, in my personal experience, I've never wanted to quit, but I did let go of music for a while. So in a way, from the outside world, it looked like I gave up music. I didn't know why at the time, but I just felt moved to just not do music for some time. And for me, it was more of like a spiritual, just kind of trying to understand myself more, trying to, because making music since I was a young kid, I didn't have time away from music. So I needed to put it aside and let go of it for a minute so I could just see who I am as a person. And what happened for me was that year or two that I took off and just stopped doing it, it made me very clear about what I wanted to do. It gave me a new perspective that I didn't have before I let it go. So to someone looking in, they could be like, oh, he quit. In that moment when I wasn't doing it, I was, going down. Like, all my friends were rising up ahead of me. So, but for me, that was okay because I made that conscious decision. Then when I got back into it, that's when I built back up momentum and had a better vision so I could be more clear about what I wanted. So long story short, if you feel moved to take a break, there's nothing wrong with taking a break. If you feel moved to quit, I mean, look at why you're doing it, but that's okay too. But like Atlas said, like M-Phazes said, there's going to be good days and there's going to be bad days. So you got to keep that in mind and be real with yourself and just understand it's going to shift. You're going to get inspired again if this is what you love. And if it's not what you love, then find something that you do love in life, because there's many things we can do. It can be music or anything. So
thanks, Decap. I think, the common denominator between these three guys is they're super positive, they're super honest, they're humble. I want to thank you guys for like telling us like it is. While we're kind of on that topic, how do you deal with mental health, keeping yourself fit and healthy mentally, physically? And how important is that in line with having a sustainable, successful career?
Man, can I just want to jump in right now. I'm going to be honest, because I've been on a fitness journey within the last, since the whole COVID thing hit. So I'll say like 6 to 7 months. I've been on a fitness journey. and I went from 44 waist, and I was weighing 268 pounds. But at my fattest, I would say closer to 300. I went from a 44 waist to a 36. Now going to a 34, really, because even my 36. Yeah, that was awesome. Thank
Hell
you so
yeah.
much. Yeah, but I really think health is wealth. And what's interesting is from the 44 waist to the now 34 waist that I have, my weight is still the same. 268 is my weight. You understand what I'm saying? So anyone who's like weighing themselves every day, driving themselves fucking crazy. I worked out today. I lost nothing. I worked out for 2 weeks. I lost nothing. I've been working out for 5 months straight, and I still weigh the same. But I went from a 44 to a 34 waist size. Okay, because I know I'm not the only one. I know there's other people out there that go through that. You know, you want to work out. Everyone talks about it's not about the weight. It's about how you feel. How you feel. And believe it or not, when you start working out, the money's gonna come in. Believe me,
Yep.
the money is gonna fucking come in. Trust your boy when I tell you that. In fact, when you wake up every day, and you worry about money, you're done fucked up. Do not do that anymore. Do not do that anymore. When you wake up, don't stress about money. Don't even think about money. When you stress about money, you're done block the whole blessing. And I'm not even a religious guy, but understand when I say blessing that's coming to you, do not block it. When you wake up, don't think about, I don't got no money today. Think about, did I learn something today? Did I help somebody today? And then did I make some money? You understand what I'm saying? Don't wake up stressing about money because you blocked your whole opportunity. I know that sounds crazy, like, I don't know what he's talking about. Trust me, it took me a while to learn that. But when I learned that, the money just starts flowing in. I'm not saying I'm a millionaire, but there was a few years ago, I was sleeping on my mom's couch. On my mom's couch. My sister was in one room, my mom was in another room, and I'm sleeping on the couch. Had no job. Where was the food coming in? My mom and my sister, they were paying for the food. Hop in the train because I had no money. Hop in the train to go to the studio because I had no money. I would hop on the train and then hop home, hoping the cops weren't there. Do you understand what I'm saying? I know people in here can relate to this. Don't let the money get to you. It's not about the money. The money will come. You love the music, right? You love the music. That's why we're here today. That's why we're all here today. If you love the music, raise your hand. Raise your motherfucking hand if you love this music. Then go get it. Then go fucking get it. You understand me? Then go get it.
Thank you, At. I'm gonna get this last question off with Phases and Decap. We're getting towards question time. There's a couple more questions I want to ask you guys after this, and we'll just like quick, short responses because I really want to hear what you guys have to say. So just quickly, Phases, how do you deal with mental health, keeping yourself healthy? Does that align with having a sustainable, successful career?
100%. I think physical health and eating right is a baseline for everything. I think if you take care of that, that sets the foundation. To touch on the music stuff though, and the mental health, and this goes for every producer, songwriter, artist, try not to attach your self-worth to your music. That's what I did for a long time, and it crushes you. So any rejection, if you make a song people don't dig, you take it personally, and that's a huge mistake, and it can build up in, it can cause depression, anxiety. It took me a while to learn that I am not my music. It's what I do, and I can detach from that, and it alleviated the anxiety. Now I live a pretty normal, happy life, and I don't beat myself up to death if a song I made sucks. You know what I mean? It's just a song, and it doesn't determine my worth as a person. I think that's very important to keep in mind.
Thanks, Phases. Decap, same question.
Yeah, man, 100% what M-Phazes said about eating healthy. I keep a food, just something practical. I keep a food log of what I eat. So before I eat something, I look at how hungry I am and how I feel. And that's something that helps me personally, because being an Italian, having an Italian family, I love to eat. I love food. So I can put on weight quick. And shout out to Atlas, man. That's amazing. That's incredible.
Yeah.
Your transformation, man.
Yeah.
So, you know, trying to do better with my food choices. I go for walks every night, and sometimes I'll talk to my team on the walk and talk about what's going good, what's not going good, and just, you know, trying to better myself while I'm bettering my body, like bettering the career while I better my body. So that's one thing I do. Also, you know, I like meditation and just wellness in general, like taking time, close your eyes and just focus on your breath. You know, one thing I talk about in my Twitch stream is how powerful meditation can be in order to get your mind clear so you can see what you want and get after what you want. And a lot of people say, some of you guys might think this, I'm not good at meditating. I don't know how to meditate. This is what you do real quick. 2 minutes, set your phone timer, sit down in a comfortable place, take your energy from your thoughts and move it into your body. So you're not thinking, you're just feeling your legs and your torso and you're feeling your body. Slow down your breathing to half speed for 2 minutes. And anytime you think a thought, go back into your body. So that's a quick way to get your mind back into focus and back into clarity. That's a thing. And another thing, somebody told me something that blew my mind. Fear is what stops us from reaching what we want. That is the thing. I bet if you think in your mind right now, what's stopping you, it's something you're afraid of that is keeping you from moving forward. Somebody told me this: fear is actually a good thing. Anytime you feel fear, instead of letting that hold you back and instead of letting that stop you, just feel the feelings that come up in your body of fear. So whatever you feel, just lean into it. And eventually that fear will release and you will see things open up. So that's a way of dealing with fear. Rather than making it reacting, you're going into the feeling and waiting for it to open up.
Thanks, Decap. All right, I got 2 more questions for you boys that I'd like if we can do like a quick sum up. And it's a big question, but see if you can sum it up for me. Atlas, what does success mean for you, man? What would make you feel successful? What does it mean for you?
Oh man, I think when you lose hunger, you always got to be hungry. When you start losing the hunger for something, which in this music industry, I'm not going to lose the hunger for the music. I went from an artist. I sang in the R&B group. That's how I started in the business. I went to an RCA audition. And shout out to Snoop. This is Snoop right here. Shout out Snoop.
Yo, what up, Snoop?
So I went to an RCA audition and I sang in the R&B group, right? And Snoop wants to be the star of the show, so he's my cat. But basically what I'm saying is, you know, I started an R&B group, transitioning to, that was my ticket out, but then the group broke up. I'm like, what the fuck am I gonna do? The group broke up. Oh my God. But then transitioning to working at a studio where I was putting up, you know, the sheetrock, putting up the screws. Like I didn't invest in the studio, but I said, I need to be around music. Everything I do, if you watch my career from the beginning till now, anyone in here, maybe some of you have, some of you haven't, you know what I'm saying? You will always see, there wasn't a time when my career went like this. And that's very rare. You know, the Drakes and all these guys, your career, boom. And not even Drake. What I'm saying is, if you can do this every, you know, year, 6 months, 3 months, 3 days, whatever, just, you know, on a slow incline, that's where it's at. It's not going to happen overnight. What you think success is not. Trust me. I've been to Ludacris's house for a week. I've been to 50's house. You know, I've been a lot of places. A lot of places. They're just like us, guys. They are just like us. You know what I'm saying? just like us. So I would just say, just be humble, don't be a dick, and just be around good people, and call people and reach out to people, and just find value. And trust me, you're gonna win. Trust me.
Thanks, M-Phazes. What's success for you, man?
For a long time, I thought success was the money and the plaques and the atypical things that come with being a successful music producer. And don't get me wrong, I still want those things. I want the big cut with this artist or that artist, but I'm very grateful for where I'm at. I'm very grateful for my whole career, even the times where I struggled. So I think success for me now is more about, are my loved ones happy? Do my loved ones look at me like a good person? Am I good to them? Do I have a strong connection with the people around me? Do I live my life with integrity? Making a living from music is a really nice bonus, and I appreciate it. But I've learned a lot in the last 3 or 4 years while living in LA that it's more about your connections with people, because at the end of the day, we all end up in the same spot, which is dead. As morbid as that sounds, you can't take your plaques with you. You can't take your money with you. So how strong are your connections with people? Are you going to be in old age with people that love you? Sharing with them, and that's important. And yes, we're all striving for success in the music industry, but don't lose sight of what is really important, which is, I think, like human connection. And then a Rihanna cut. That's the other success. I'm joking. I'm playing.
Decap, success for you, bro.
100%. So I like, ever since I was a kid, I always just wanted to be a producer, and I wanted to make a living doing that. So that was success for me. And now I have that. So in that sense, from what young Decap wanted to now, I'm successful. But like M-Phazes and Atlas said, there's levels to it. It's are you happy? Can I make a living making music, build my career, build my brand, and stay happy? Can I laugh at things that I used to frown about? Can life become more light to me and less serious? That's success to me. Like, having more fun. So it's privilege. It's a privileged position in a certain sense, because it's like, I have made the career wise, I am successful. I've reached it, and now it's like, but once you reach it, there's always more. Like, I want more now. I want more success. So that's never going to stop. No matter, you guys, let me tell you this, every one of you guys in this room is a total success. And you want to know why? Because you made it here, you're alive, you're breathing, and you're living, you're alive. So you are successful wherever you are. So that's like the first point. And then from there, it's just style points, because it's all about being alive and experiencing life. So I think for me, it's about being happy, feeling abundant, being able to do what I want, having more and more freedom, and just good relationships, good connections with people, meaningful connections with people.
Thanks, Decap. They were great responses. I do have one last question. Have you guys got time, or do you want to sum it up? Decap, Phazes, at.
No, man. Got time.
You're good for one more?
Yeah.
All right. Last question for you guys, and then I'm gonna push it over to the crew. I got a couple of questions from them. What are your goals and ambitions moving forward? At.
Did you say at? I thought you said
Yeah.
at. All right. I have a website, and you know what? I'll launch it today. I haven't officially launched it, but most producers who want samples for free, YouTube is a great resource, right? You go to YouTube, it's an awesome resource. The only problem with YouTube is you get the fluff. You get the trending videos. Because you watch this video, you get that video. You get the links that don't even work. So go to this website, guys, and put it down. It's called Samplet.io. So it's SAMPLETTE.io. Samplet.io. So when you go to the website, the great thing about the website is when you go there, you can filter what type of genre of music you're looking for. If you want to do R&B or reggae or like arcade music or whatever, you can go and filter there. There's also a tab to tap the BPM. So as you're listening to it, you can tap for BPMs. Okay, it's called samplet.io. Check it out. I'm working on a plugin for producers. I'm working on a lot of things, but just go to Samplet. Also, if you guys cook, if you guys are painters, I do custom hip hop aprons. So go to native 90 nativ90.com, native without the E, native90.com. And I got all kinds of aprons there for you guys as well. But I'm working on movies. You know, I'm Atlas the Plug. So people call me for a lot of things. So this is what I'm working on. You know, I'm always looking. I'll be honest though, at the end of the day, I always want to find the next upcoming, whether it's producer or artist. That's where my passion.
Thanks, At. Let's go with phases, goals and ambitions moving forward, and anything you want to plug if you feel the need.
Goals and ambitions moving forward. My plan is to find young producers and songwriters that I can publish. I haven't done that before, but I'm really getting into that into that mindset lately. And help people reach their dreams and ambitions. You know, like Decap said, I feel like I've reached mine. There's always more, and you know, I'll be constantly striving to do bigger things in my career. But I am in a place now where I'm in a position where I can help people. So I want to do that. So there's a few young producers I'm kind of helping out and bringing up, and I have an intern now who is a young producer and super hungry. So I'm helping him. And then Rule, who is my artist, who I've been working with for the last 5 years, you know, we'll be working on his full-length album soon, which will be a big deal. So just developing his career, seeing him come from a 12-year-old kid to this, you know, worldwide singer, worldwide, I don't want to say famous, he's on his way, but where he's at is crazy. So, you know, just seeing where that's going to go is really exciting for me. And that's about it.
Thanks, Phases. And congrats on the success with Rule. You guys are doing amazing stuff, man.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I was waiting for that.
Yeah, I know you were. I thought it's not fair if I just give that a clap.
Thanks, man.
Decap, goals and ambitions moving forward, and then we're going to start summing up.
So, I mean, since COVID hit, I was actually going to move to LA in April, but COVID hit, so I didn't. And so that's kind of moved me in the direction to the live streaming world and just making the most of you know, what we're given in this pandemic. So trying to see how I can do more virtually. And what it's shown me is there's an amazing community being built on things like platforms like Twitch, and Discord and all that. So, you know, continuing to build that community, continuing to help upcoming producers and that sort of thing. Also continuing to make the drums knock harder, more drums that knock. Continuing to work on new music, and just collaborating and having a good time, just serving the community, collaborating. And if you guys want to connect on Twitch, it's at Decap Music, so twitch.tv/Decap Music. And you guys can follow me on all social media, Decap Music, so Instagram, Decap Music, and all the other platforms.
All right, cool. So we got some questions from the guests. There's a couple of questions, then we're going to finish up. To Atlas from Amy. From an artist point of view, is the number of tracks being released consecutively dependent on your fan base numbers? For someone who hasn't got the strong following, is it still worth releasing every month?
Man, I mean, that's a lot of questions right there.
Do you want me to say it again, At?
No, I got you. I think it always comes down to the quality of the product that's being delivered. You know, at the end of the day, there's a lot of people who can sing. There's a lot of people who can make beats. There's a lot of people who are good engineers. There are a lot of people who are good managers. It's the extra mile that you take to not only meet the people, because a lot of people can meet the people. It's not about meeting the people. It's about when you meet the people, how are you developing these relationships with these people? Okay? I've interviewed a lot of people on Blapchat with Illmind. Shout out to Perfection and Glam. A lot of people. How am I building these relationships with these people depends on who it is you're talking to. Okay? For instance, Cruz. I met Cruz. You know, when we talked about social media earlier, and you know, with social media a positive or a negative, for me it was the positive because I DM'd Cruz. That's how I met Cruz, Meek Mill's engineer. I shot him a DM. Why? Because I was watching a Joe Budden podcast and they mentioned Cruz, and I didn't even know who Cruz was. I'm gonna keep it a stack with you. Okay? But then they said, oh, Cruz, turn me up, Cruz. I said, oh shit, there's an engineer out there that people are fucking with. Well, let me show shine to the engineer because they get no shine. So I shot Cruz a DM. Real talk. If you want to keep it a stack, I shot him a DM. I said, yo, I fuck with what you're doing. He DM'd me back. Yo, give me a holler on the phone. Gave me his number. Right? And since then, he comes to Blapchat, we interview him, right? What happens after that is the blessing, is what I'm trying to tell you guys. And I know we're trying to wrap it up and we're gonna be done, but let me just finish here real quick, because I'm trying to tell you guys what happens when you develop these relationships. You feel me? So Cruz comes in, we interview him on Blapchat. He talks about the Respect the Engineer website, the whole movement he has going on, and I love it. Okay? After we interview him, we're in the green room in the back. I'm like, Cruz, man, this Respect the Engineer you got going on. I love it. I think we could do more with this. Let's do a nationwide, let's do a workshop like Illmind's Pastor Ox, right? You guys know Pastor Ox? That's my idea. Okay, the Illmind Platinum Club. Now, remind you, I'm coming from a singer. This is why we have to diversify our portfolio. Do you understand me? All of us. You might want to be a singer today, an engineer tomorrow, or this. You can still do music and do a lot of things. And you don't understand what I'm saying? So we started Respect the Engineer workshop, me and Cruz, from a podcast that me and Illmind did from Blapchat. And it was Respect the Engineer. We went to Miami, DJ Khaled studio. Shout out to DJ Khaled for letting us use his studio. Shout out to Joe Dada for letting us use his studio in Miami, me and Cruz. We went to LA. We had Young Guru engineer. If you don't know, shit, you better. Young Guru, Jay-Z's fucking engineer. Everyone's engineer. The guy's a legend. Shout out to Guru. I love you. The point that I'm saying is you could advance. I started singing in the R&B group, guys. Singing in the R&B group. You could always do music, but you got to be creative and advance. In my R&B group that I sang in the R&B group. What they also add, the only reason why you succeeded, not the only reason, is because I evolved. You got to evolve in this game. You feel me? You got to evolve. Everyone here, we got to evolve. Okay? And follow me, Atlas the Plug, one motherfucking word. Let's go.
Legend.
All right, guys.
Thanks, we got one question for M-Phazes from Ryan. any specific tips for Australian producers, especially Melbourne-based?
Oh, well, it's a little different. When I was coming up, the internet was brand new, and Illmind knows about this, the undergroundhiphop.com days, posting beats. Again, get reliable feedback from people that are going to be honest with you. Don't listen to your friends. Don't listen to people who think they can get free music from you. Get brutally honest feedback, and don't let it get you butthurt if they say, oh, that sucks. Like, use it as fuel to get better. Like, why does that suck? And just, network over the internet. Try and find local acts you can produce for. I know we've touched on this a few times during this session, but like, money is great, but it's a byproduct of practice, hard work, persistence, constantly trying to get better. The money and all the success, it's byproducts of that. It's byproducts of this math equation, with the hard work and the persistence and the not giving up and all that shit. But if you fixate on the money and the success and all that other stuff, you're almost bound for failure, I think. So yeah, I mean, it doesn't really matter where you live nowadays. You could, there's who's that guy? The TikTok song with the saxophone, the Josh something, like, biggest song in the world. This kid's from New Zealand, some small town in New Zealand, on his like PC in his home, and now he's got a gigantic worldwide smash. It doesn't matter. Like, we have the facilities now. If you have a phone or an internet connection, you can make it happen. So just hard work. Lots of hard work. Trying to be as motivational as Atlas, but I'm failing miserably over here.
Yeah, you're doing a great job, man. You're doing a great job. Decap, last question, because we got to sum it up. We're getting at time. Decap, when are you releasing your next Drums That Knock?
I will say I am going to release another Drums That Knock, and it's coming soon.
Yeah.
Not this year. Next year. Sometime next year, most likely. Most likely.
I need an exclusive. I need the exclusive preview of that.
You please. Got it, man. What I will say is what I will say is I have a free kit available on my site right now. Drums That Knock free. It's at drumsthatknock.com. And stay tuned for Black Friday. We got some good sales and all that. So
dope.
drumsthatknock.com. Follow me, Instagram, Decap Music. And
yeah,
Twitch.
man.
Hey.
So I'm gonna sum it up with you guys. Do you want to give your last words, and then we're done for the day / night? Last words, at.
I mean, I just want to say it's been an honor and a blessing to be in the room with Decap, to be in the room with M-Phazes, to be in the room with everyone in here. If you guys had fun, just raise your hand. Just raise your hand. You had a good time today, was it? Like I said, you guys could DM me, Atlas the Plug. I'm out here. I got my name from Illmind, Atlas the Plug. That was given to me. I didn't make that name up. They gave me that name. Why? Because Atlas is here to help. So if you need something, let me help you guys out. All right, guys? Peace out.
Thank you, At.
Follow me. If you don't follow me, I'm going to unfollow you.
Phazes, sum it up, man.
All right, man.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you, everyone, for being here, and thanks, Spike, for having me. I really appreciate it. It is an honor speaking alongside with Atlas and Decap. I've known Decap for fucking years, and it's inspiring to see what he's done. And Atlas, I haven't known you for very long, but you're a legend, and I'm hyped. I'm about to go for a run. You got me amped up. But no, I mean, shit, keep at it. Don't let anything get you out of that mindset of persistence. It's all about persistence, and I think Cap and Atlas can tell you from experience that this shit took years to build. And it is a slow and steady climb. It's not something that happens overnight. It's one of those things, it's sort of career where you look back in 10 years and then you go, oh shit, look where I'm at. I was down here 10 years ago. The client, the success comes so incremental, like in small incremental pieces. It doesn't come all at once. So just keep persisting, keep at it. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Phases. Decap, sum us up, man.
Spike, man, thank you for having me. I'm honored to share this with Atlas and M-Phazes. Just amazing human beings, amazing just go-getters and just super dope. And thank you all for being here. I appreciate it. I hope to see you guys on my Twitch streams every Monday and Thursday. If you're in Australia, it's a little different, but we'll work out the time difference. Yeah, man. One thing I'll just end it by saying is, I mean, the sky's the limit. You can go as far as you want with this. Like M-Phazes was just saying, you know, if you stick with it. One thing I say is, and I do this myself, the first thing to look at is be honest about where you're at right now. Like, be honest about your circumstance and what's happening for you. Look at that, and then look at where you want to be. So focus on where you are and where you want to be. And that difference in between where you are and where you want to be is that energy that's going to drive you forward, that tension in between those two ideas. So appreciate you guys, and thank you.
Thank you, Decap. I want to thank Ramon, Broza, my manager, for helping me set this up. This took a lot of time and commitment and messages and emails and marketing and crazy. Thank you, Ramon, Broza. I want to thank the guests for being honest, for being real. This was super inspiring for me. I'm sure you guys feel exactly the same way. These guys gave up their time and we went a little bit over. So I'm super appreciative. Thank you for joining Squad Sundays 2020. Make sure you follow these guys on all their socials. They're on Twitch, they're across Instagram, probably Facebook and all the other ones. Give them a round of applause.
Hey, thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Thanks, y'all.
We're gonna end out with Phases by M-Phazes and Decap.